And yep, good. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so welcome to the March 11th meeting. Hope everybody's doing well. Got a few things to cover, some minor updates and things to give you and things to go over based on where everybody's at, kind of more or less, either right now at topic selection or have already got an approved plan and are starting to work on their PDCAs. So kind of just wanted to go over, make sure we're on track with those. And then there's a whole bunch of folks I'm trying to chase that I haven't heard from for topic selection. Or if they're joining, I've sent out emails, made phone calls, and typically those folks don't show up to meetings either. So if you are one of them, please give me a call, talk about topic selection, or send me the form, and we'll talk about that as well. All right. So this is the agenda for today. A couple of reminders and updates, as I said, and then focus in on making sure we're on track with topic selection and PDCAs, and then we'll go from there. As usual, if you have any questions, please just unmute and ask. You can type into the chat box. I do have it open and I'm keeping an eye on it. So I can address any questions that you might have as we go through. So please feel free to interrupt me. So first reminder, survey. I've asked a couple of times the last meetings. It's still open, probably keep it open till the end of the month. And then after that, hopefully we've got some good data. So again, I pretty well begged last time, begging again. If you haven't had a chance to do the survey, please do it so that we can. I'm just going to copy and paste the link into the chat box. So in case you want to do it before I close the meeting, you'll have the link there. So again, please complete the survey, take you a few minutes. We need the feedback to try to, improve the program. Now that we have a year under our belts, that's why we're kind of trying to get some feedback on how things went in year one to look at what we can do to improve. All right. ACSESS year two invoices. If you are joining year two and you have not paid your invoice, Jennifer's probably been hunting you down. If you have not seen or know anything or did not receive, again, please send Jennifer an email. She'll reissue the invoice. You do need to pay because I do track it. And when it comes to topic submission, if you haven't paid yet, I won't be able to submit your topics. So please let Jennifer know if you had any issues. There's still quite a few folks that have not paid that I think she's chasing down. So there's those invoices for year two. And then there's probably some invoices going out for the 2% for those of you that got rebates. So you may have been contacted for that, which is 2% of your rebate, which is part of the annual fee as well. And then Jennifer just typed her email in the chat. So if you don't have it and you have any questions about invoicing and payments, she's the one looking after most of that. All right. Any questions on that so far? All right. The next item is the portable, the login to the portal. I brought it up at the last two meetings to give people a heads up. As of the 14th of February, you now will access the portal via the WSIB online services at wsib.ca. Top right-hand corner, you try to log in. If you don't have an online services account, you have to create one. Use your same email that you used before for accessing the portal when you're registering. If you're having any issues with trying to get into the portal, send me an email. I can send you some instructions. They've done a little bit of a video. I don't think it's emailable. And then if all else fails, you can contact them directly.
Okay, thanks.
But we've had a couple of, probably at least over a month heads up of that change. Many of you have already done it. Great, thank you very much. Those of you that have not tried to access the portal, you're going to find that you have to go through wsib.ca and then do the online services account. If you already have an online services account, then you can try to log in with that, and then it'll probably ask you to link your portal information as well. All right. So make sure you test that out before you're in a panic to try to get something up to the portal, and then you got to troubleshoot. You got to contact support at WSIB to manage to get online. Otherwise, the portal itself has not changed. Right. Next update, customer care calls. So you may, I just wanted to remind you that the WSIB does regular customer care calls. If you go, I think it's pretty well random. They go through the list of members. And so nothing to panic about. They'll probably ask you a few questions. How are you like the program? Where are you in the program? If you know, whatever. I don't know exactly what their script is. They don't tell us, but it's just really checking in, see how you're doing. So don't be surprised if you do get a call. It has really no bearing on your performance or anything to do with the program other than just a touch point with WSIB. And maybe, you know, they get a sense of how people are doing in the program, that kind of thing. The other reason you might get a call, which probably would be very, very, very rare, is if you're inactive in the portal for 12 months. So they they're tracking and highlighting those because they don't want a bunch of people in the portal that are doing nothing. So they want to make sure the portal basically has people that are, you know, in the program still. They might be inactive for a short period of time. You know, if you're taking a year off, and I basically can let them know, and we put you on inactive status, but that kind of thing. But so usually we would communicate long before the 12 months. So it shouldn't really come to that point. So you shouldn't be getting those calls. But in case you do, you know, just let me know as well. But again, the 12-month inactive should not be an issue. But regular customer care calls, yes. All right. You probably will get those at some point if you haven't already gotten any. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Next item, topics. Next item is on-site validation. So we've talked about this in some of the meetings in the past. It is part of the validation process. Has always been part of the validation process for the program. It's just that when the program started, so did COVID. So they really didn't get that off the ground. But at our last provider meeting, they did give us a heads up that they will be starting the on-site validation component of the program. So as you recall, topics get desktop validation, and then once all your topics have been closed and validated at desktop, then before they close your action plan, they will look at the criteria and you may get selected for on-site validation. It is a very small percentage, and they will be starting that up again. So you don't need to worry about it because most of you know for a while, because most of you are in starting year 2. So you're not even close to closing an action plan, closing all your topics, which is at the time they look at for the on-site validation. They are going to formalize the selection criteria. So I will get more of a heads up on that. And as soon as we get more on how they're going to pick people. It's mainly on the types of topics, high risk, firms that have high LTIs, lost time incident rates, that kind of thing, I think is kind of where they're looking at for the on-site validation. Also, they're trying to position it as a positive experience. It's not an audit. They're trying to position it as it's an information sharing, knowledge sharing, where the validators, most of them are safety professionals, can share their insight on topics and safety. They're only going to focus on the topics. They're basically revalidating what you submitted on your PDCAs for your topics. And if you're still doing everything you said you were going to do or did, in your PDCA, shouldn't be a problem. All right. The one thing I'm trying to start to get a handle on is what their expectations are for temp agencies, because we want to make sure that's clear before they start doing temp agency on sites. So they have a good understanding that there is a restriction to being able to visit your client sites, because client sites may refuse. So if they have an expectation that they're going to just really be able to visit any of your client sites for whatever validation level they want to do, it's not that simple. So I've got a note to basically work with them and see what their expectations are, and if we're going to have any issues, because I do believe in safety group, they did not expect when you got selected for an audit, not expect to visit your client sites. So I don't see why that would change here, but we can't take anything for granted. So it's something that I have a note to work with them on and get a clarification on for on-site validations for the temp industry. So stay tuned, more to come on that. This is just kind of heads up. This is like, I think their third attempt at starting up the on-sites, because every time they have a wave came and then they didn't want their consultants to be out in the field. But it looks now that it's a go again. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Right. And that's why they reviewed the process, which is very transparent, scheduled at your convenience, and all of that good stuff. So you'll get a long heads up. You'll have an agenda set up, all the timing, everything, all the questions you may want to ask about it, all well ahead of time with the validator. So so it'll be scheduled. All right. So more to come on that. The more I get, the more I will send to you. Questions on site? Just checking the chat box. I don't see anything. All right, no questions. All right, let's go on to the next item, which is the topic selection and rationale form. Most of you, well, some of you are in the topic selection stage, so that's why I wanted to cover it here. And next, I'm going to just quickly update on the PDCA and some of you are starting to work on your PDCAs. So for those of you topic selection, these are some considerations. They are part, I think I've added pretty well most of them to the topic selection and rationale form. Just to help you with topic selection, look at these, tips, considerations, what fits, legal compliance issues. I always look out folks to look at their stats. Where are you having your accidents? Because those things, initiatives that you're going to do to address that could be topics. Anything that you've not completed a full PDCA on before. So you might have done plan, do, never done, check, and act. We can submit those, consider them as new. New processes, new business activities. Have a look at the list of 36. If you've been continuing with your internal or had any external audits, are there any non-conformances that can turn into topics? Remember, the control of hazard topic can be used for many, many different hazards. So make sure you take a kind of a big picture, look at, what initiatives are you already planning? Say you weren't in the excellence program, right? What initiatives, safety initiatives were you planning on? And if you do have some, maybe those can be turned into topics. Another consideration, right? At the end of the day, if you're having trouble, then, give me a call. We'll set up a meeting. We'll go over, we'll discuss. You have any ideas, right? So I can give you some of my input if you're having trouble coming up with topics. You don't have to pick 5, but remember, if you pick only 2 and then, oh, geez, I got another 7 months, I can do another couple of topics. We can't add, right? So you may, again, start with 5. If you only get 3 done, no big deal. We defer whatever you don't get done. There's no penalty. There's no issue. The only thing is you only get rebate for topics completed and fully validated, right? So, okay. The form now has the selection piece, part A, and a part B, which is rationale. Remember, you only need to do rationale if you have a category 2 or 3, which is significant gap, significant change topics. If they're new, you don't need to fill in the rationale form. But for anything that falls anywhere on a 2 or a 3 category, you do need to complete the rationale for each topic. And basically, it's answering the 3 questions. Remember that your action plan clock does not start until I approve your topic selection. So the process, as we talked about before, you complete the form, send it to me, I review it. If everything looks great, then I'll send you an email saying, yeah, please go onto the portal and do the selection on the portal, upload the form to the portal. And when you mark it ready for review, I look at it, I approve it, and then you'll get an expiry date. 365 days from that day. So many of you are in this process. And so please, I've asked for the form, haven't, that kind of thing. So to get you started on the program. Okay, that's the front of the form, the cover page with the general information, a reminder on the categories. All right. And remember, you could have like a controlled hazard topic. That's a category 4 and a 1. So it's a controlled hazard and it's new, or it can be a controlled hazard and a 2. So you're going to bring back another a hazard program you've done in the past, but there's a significant gap in it and you want to work on it again. You can do that. It's a 4 and a 2. So you would mark a 4 and a 2. And then you need a rationale form, right? So anything that falls in a 2 or 3 must have a rationale. So a 4 can be a 4 and a 1, then it does not need a rationale. Only if it's that 4 also falls into a 2 or 3, then you need a rationale. So part A, room for 5 topics. Again, you don't have to do 5. Tick off the boxes. If it's a significant gap, you're going to tick here, and then you need a rationale form, tick here. And then I expect then, if you're for any ones that you've had rationale forms, you will then do the rationale for the topic, answering the basic questions. You're doing the rationale, it's a category 2 or 3. Okay, you never have to fill in both columns. This is the gap column, change column. So if it's gap, only the left-hand column, answer the questions. Put the topic name, category 2, answer the questions. And there's room, just in case people pick 5 topics that all require rationale, there's room for 5 topics on the form, just in case. Again, I look at everything, right? And remember, the rationale is just selling the gap or the change so that it can be accepted as a topic. They do look at these, right? Again, any questions you might have on what to write for rationale, just give me a call. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about what the gap is and and what kind of wording you might want to include. Because this will get uploaded and they do look at it. This gets uploaded on the topic selection page now. All right, questions on topic selection? A lot of you are working on that. I'm waiting to hear back. I would have sent emails, might have gotten phone calls too, waiting for the topic selection form. And then there's a whole bunch of you that already did your topic selection and you're starting to work on your PDCAs. So if you're like a month into the program or two and you haven't even sent me at least a draft of a PDCA for one topic, you should. You're probably going to start getting emails. Hi, your plan was approved 2 months ago. Haven't seen even the draft PDCA for one topic. So you're 2 months in. Hopefully, at least you've drafted it. You've started working on it, so that we don't start getting behind the 8 ball on it. So you don't have to send me all 5 written up PDCAs, but a month or 2 into the program, at least one, just make sure you're on, and it's all just to make sure you're on the right track. You're formulating the PDCA properly. There are 2 resources this year available to you. One is the guide that I created, the topic implementation PDCA form guide. So what is expected under plan, do, check, and act. So that's a PDF with some notes on what to put in there, what they're looking for. And then this year, we also have the WSIB evidence story samples guide. So that's a sample of a PDCA for all 36 topics. So please use those resources to help write your PDCA for your topics. The samples guide also has a hyperlink in every page for the sample to the topic requirements. So if it says at the top of each of the sample stories, to review the requirements of this topic, click here, and it'll open up the page that's in your members guide for the topic requirements. So that is also part of the criteria. Okay, so you can't create a topic that doesn't at least meet the minimum topic requirements of the topic in the members guide. Again, if you need any help with the development of the PDCA, give me a call. We'll schedule a meeting and I'll go over it with you. Okay. And I've gone through this forum at least, I don't know, 3 times, but I know there's some new members. So if you go back to the old previous meetings in the library, the ACSESS library, there will be sections where we went into the PDCA in depth and with samples and examples in past meetings. But again, if you need help, just give me a call. I'll go through it with you one-on-one.
James,
Yes.
if we have one topic that we'd like you to review to see if we're on the right track, would we send that through the tool or would we send that to you by email?
Email.
Got it.
Yeah. The tool, the upload to the tool is basically when we're ready to submit the topic.
I thought so. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah,
thank you.
because then you're basically going up and down on the tool, but removing, updating. So we try to minimize as much of that as you have to do. So hopefully the one you're going to upload will be the final version for that topic. Yes, when you add a second or a third, you're going to have to remove the old and upload the new, but at least you don't want to have to be changing the same topic 3 or 4 times on the portal. So once we get it finalized and you've got the version that you're going to have, that you were going to use to submit the evidence for validation, that's the one that will go up on the portal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. In the meantime, it's just between you and I, emails back and forth, just like we did last year. You send it to me in Word. It's a lot easier for me to write my comments into a Word document than PDF. And you can upload it in Word too. You don't have to switch this one to PDF. where it's important to combine the PDFs as the evidence packages for upload. That's where really you're going to need to use PDF to get everything into packages, right? But for this document, you can just leave it in Word and we can go back and forth. I can type in my comments and you can make your edits as we go through. So so keep it in Word. There's no need to PDF it. I can, then I can paste the little comment boxes in a PDF form, but it's just more work for both of us, right? So just keep sending it. We'll go back and forth and until you get it right. And remember, the advantage of doing this before you're really getting into the topic is make sure that you're collecting and working on the right thing ahead of time. Not, oh, I'm ready to submit. Can you look at my PDCA? And then you get like, oh, you're missing this, you're missing that, you're missing that, and you're not ready to submit. So it's always good, as you're getting started on the topic, to send me the PDCA to look at it. No different than we did last year, right? Except that don't wait too late to show me. If, sometimes last year, the first time I saw the PDCA was close to the end of your expiry date when you're ready to submit like 3 topics or 4 topics together. That's taking a big risk, right? If there's things that you're still going to be working on, you may run out of time. Right? I know the cycle is 12 months, but really you should be working on your last topic by at least, I would say the latest month 10. If you're just starting a topic on month 10 of the 365 days, you're whoa, right? Because remember, you can't do the check for about 4 to 6 weeks or even longer after the due. So you're really cutting it short. All right. So please use the resources. And then ultimately, if you're struggling, just give me a call. We'll set up a meeting. All right. Any questions? Okay, good. And remember, it's one document for all 5 topics. So the document, again, the template for the PDCA has room for 5 if you need to use it for 5 topics. Just keep adding to it. All right. No questions or further questions on. All right. So like I said, if you're, a couple of months into the program, some of you, we're November, October, and we're now in March, and I haven't seen one PDCA yet. So I'm hoping you've started working on them because you're already a couple of months into the program and haven't started any topics yet. So try to schedule it, spread it out. No questions. All right. So one of the standard agenda items I've added to the agenda is going to be next meeting agenda suggestions. So again, I've asked a number of times, anybody have any specific items they would like to add to the agenda for meetings, go over a particular topic, a PDCA, discuss a particular topic. That's what I'm looking for. And I can, review it at the next meeting. So, if you have any suggestions, a lot of you have gone through the last program, the year one. If you want to share your experience on it, do you want to share? Some of you never have seen an AER, additional evidence required. So if you want to go through an AER, I just need someone who had an AER to volunteer so that I could log into the portal and look at the historical one from last year and show, go through what the AER looked like for a topic, and how it was addressed. So, those are all some ideas, but I'd rather things come from you than me trying to figure out always what you want to do. I always have the updates and stuff, but I also don't want to bore you going over the same material and content unless you need refreshers and things like that on particular aspects of the program. So that's what I'm looking for. Open to suggestions. If you have any, I'll take them now. If you don't, you can email me. If anyone is working on any of my topics, we can cover one of them. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I tried to do last year is look at which ones are the most popular ones selected. At the end of the day, it was all over the place. So there really wasn't one particular or two or three. I did talk about COVID. I did the whole walkthrough on COVID because it was one last year. But now that, you know, that's not a common topic that everybody's picking. So you know, I basically I could do is, you know, first come, first serve, right? So if you have a topic you're working on and you want it reviewed at a meeting, get everybody else's input, then you send me the suggestion and I put it on the agenda, and I could maybe do one or two topics a meeting as well. You know, so to kind of spread it out. I can try to look at the stats and see if there are some top topics, but if not, then I can do like first come, first serve, right? Do you like the AER review idea? I would need someone, you wouldn't have to present it. I can present it. I just need really somebody's consent to go into their thing and show the AER, right? Because it's your portal, it's your material for your firm. So I can't just open up anybody's and show, oh yeah, here's so-and-so's without your consent. So I would never do that. So. Okay. Thanks, Desiree. Yeah. But what about it? Would it be of interest to look at what an AER looks like? Just type yes or no in the portal. And that way I know if it's something that I can look at. Okay, I've got. All right, so review of AER. Yeah, as long as I can get volunteers at meetings, I can always log into the account and then open up the AER to have a look at it. Because some of you didn't get any, so you've never gone through where do they write the report? What does it look like? What, you know, what kind of gaps they identify for a particular topic. So I don't see a sample standard. What do you mean standard? Okay, there's two, the standards are kind of the initial project that was done in year one at the beginning for a library of generic standards that I always say, I didn't audit them, so use at your own risk. And there may not be one for every topic. What I was referring to, that there's one for every topic, is a PDCA sample, Plan, Do, Check, Act sample, not standard. All right. So Plan, Do, Check, Act. Yeah. That's the document that WSIB created last year. We didn't have that available last year when we were doing our PDCAs. So that's an extra resource this year that everyone has to get an idea, a general idea of what they're looking at on a particular topic. It's just a sample. You can just to generate some ideas. We would love to review a completed topic on control of hazards, slip, trip, and falls, sprains, strains. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody did. I don't recall anybody did those in the past. A slip, trip, fall, sprain, strain, unsafe forklift operation. I don't know if there are any but we can still do a review, like we can discuss what would it look like. So which one are you doing, Desiree? Is it slip, trip, fall? I could put that one for the next meeting. That's a common, yeah, slip, trip, fall. Okay, so I will do review topic, slip, trip, fall next meeting. We'll go over what would a PDCA look like for slip, trip, fall hazard on level surface, not working at heights. That's a separate. All right, good suggestions. So we'll do that. We'll do this every meeting. And then that way we can go over stuff. So we'll do an AER and we'll do a review of slip, trip, fall. And I will have also have a look and see if there's any like high popular topics. That we can put for future agenda items as well for topic reviews. All right, great. Thank you so much. Thanks for your input. And again, any other people have suggestions, just shoot me an email. I'll make a note. I'll keep track. And it'll be helpful for future meetings. All right, general Q&As. Any questions, comments, concerns? Still waiting for people to decide on year 2, so hopefully they'll let us know sooner than later. And again, few people would have gotten emails from me or phone calls for topic selection. So you might have questions around that. Whoops. Oops, I went backwards, sorry. No questions. No comments. Nobody wants to share a story or a joke or what did the so-and-so say to the so-and-so? No. All right. Everybody wants to get back to work. All right. I won't force any questions. It's always part of the agenda just to make sure we've covered anything people are concerned about, want to know about. Okay, next meeting date. I'm looking into April. How about April the 22nd? It's a Friday. If Fridays are okay, and if Friday, we can always switch them to Thursdays. Okay, Thursdays. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. People take Fridays off, especially in the summer. How about the 28th of April? April the 28th, this Thursday. It's not a long weekend or anything like that, right? Yeah. So April, so we're going to do ACSESS, HSEP. April the 28th, 1 p.m. All right. So Jennifer's on there. She'll send out the invite so you can add it to your calendars. We'll also let you know when the recording is uploaded in case you need to review this meeting again. And again, the handouts will also be uploaded, the slide deck, to the ACSESS HSEP library as well. So you can have a copy of the slides if you would like. Otherwise, I will thank you for your time and participation. And remember, if you have any questions, need help with topic selection, PDCAs, email or a call away. Okay.